Okay, so let's talk about something very, very simple when it comes to persuasion. And I'm gonna preface this, or I'm gonna explain this by listing two simple examples. Two very, very perhaps insignificant examples, but really examples who made a major change in my day, and which also made me want to go back to the actual places in question. Here's what happened. Again, product placement, Coca-Cola Zero. Number one was I was consuming some coffee at a coffee shop. I'd bought with me some bottles of wine, as you probably know from other videos, or if you don't know, I don't really drink wine. I don't like wine. I really don't like alcohol as a whole either, so I try my best to avoid drinking alcohol. So these bottles of wine were for my parents because they requested it because they drink wine sometimes. And so I was walking away from the coffee shop. I needed to get to my gate real quick because the plane was about to leave. I just needed to take a quick piss at the restroom. So I was leaving the coffee shop. I was walking very, very fast, very, very determined, because that's what I do when I'm out and about doing something. And just as I was about to walk into the restroom area, somebody taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it's one of the baristas from the coffee shop. In his other hand, with which he did not tap my shoulder, he holds the bag of wine bottles that I forgot. And I smile, I shake his hand, I say thank you, and off I go, because I'm in a rush, I'm in a hurry. If I'd had cash on me, I probably would have given him some finder's fee, because I know myself way too well. I'm usually very, very good at remembering stuff, but sometimes I'm forgetful like everyone else. And when I'm forgetful, I'm really, really forgetful. It's kind of like getting up in the morning. I usually am very good at getting up in the morning, and usually I wake up before the alarm even goes. But on the days that I oversleep way over the time, like an hour or so. So it's either one way or the other. It's kind of like one of the extremes. And so in this instance, here's what would have happened if this guy wouldn't have handed me my bags of wine. I would have gone to the restroom. I would have taken the piss very, very quickly. I would have rushed and hurried to the gate. And once I'd sat myself confidently down in the seat in the flight, inside the airplane, I then would have realized that, oh shit, I forgot my bottles of wine. I forgot the bags of bottles of wine. And by then, it would have, of course, been too late, because once you're boarded, once you've gone through the boarding process, once you pass through the gate, you can't go back unless there's an emergency. And I don't think they count forgetting your bottles of wine as an emergency. I really don't. I mean, you could ask the airline if they want to let you back out, but I think they're gonna say no. Anyway, here's what I'm getting at. That gesture was very, very nice. And in fact, it was so nice, and it was so necessary, that whenever I go back to the airport, to that airport, I'm always gonna stop at that precise coffee shop, simply because this barista did me such a huge favor by giving me my bottles of wine back. Superior service, like Ben Settle taught me. If you don't know who Ben Settle is, go look him up. He's a master when it comes to email marketing and also persuasion, and I've learned a lot from him. But this is a great example of superior service. Because if your coffee shop ain't that popular or ain't that known, at the very least you can deliver superior service to your clients. Here's another example of superior service. There's a pizza place that I frequent every once in a while. They have a delicious buffet. I usually indulge in that buffet because I like pizza and because I like pizza buffets. Now, they're not the most high-end restaurant. They're kind of like this mid-tier, mediocre restaurant. They don't have the best pizza. They don't have the biggest selection either. And sometimes the staff isn't exactly the best. But they're okay. They're sort of like mid-tier when it comes to quality and service and so on. Or excuse me, when it comes to quality. However, one time I was there at the pizza buffet, I was offered a free coffee on the house with free refills. That's never happened before. Never. And that's not normal either. Another time, one of the staff came out and asked me specifically what sort of pizza I preferred and if I had any special special requests for the pizza. Now, in my country, maybe this is unique for Norway, but in Norway, there is this weird custom of putting pineapple on the pizza. In my mind, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza at all. There's not supposed to be fruit on the pizza. Might as well put apples and pears and oranges on the pizza. Pineapples don't belong there. And so they have this pizza that's ham and pepperoni and also pineapple. I love that pizza, but I don't love the pineapple, so I pick it away. Anyway, so I requested that pizza, the pepperoni and the ham, but without the pineapple. And guess what they did? They made a special pizza just for me. A special pizza just for you, sir. Right? That's what they did. Now, this happened in the same pizza chain, but at two very different pizza places. And guess what? Both places I go to frequently because they deliver superior service at times. This is really what I mean. This is delivering superior service, and this is listening to your customers, and this is taking your customers seriously. This is what you need to do. When you wanna persuade someone to buy from you. This is also something that I do in another business that I have. In that business that I have, me and my business partner, we ship packages to our clients. It's within the clothing business. And I always make a point out of writing a handwritten note, thanking them for the purchase, and then putting a small sweet, like a caramel or some sort of chocolate, just something small, like a little treat, to remind them that, hey, you're my customer and I like you and I'm going to take care of you. Doesn't cost much at all, but it makes all the difference in the world for those who receive the what's the word I'm looking for here? For those who are being serviced for the client. And so that's the daily persuasion trick of the day. If you want to learn more about persuasion, then get subscribe to my email list. The link to do so is below the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this. And I'll see you there. Bye-bye.